Chapter 39, St. Paul. Let's talk about this another time. I have to go now, and thank you so much for all your help. I'll buy you dinner sometime, said Han Sen, ready to go back. He knew that what Qin Xian said made sense, but he had his own plan. He wanted to get an aristocratic title before he turned 20 and went to serve, because aristocrats had certain privileges in the army and would not be sent to the front. Stop! Have I excused you? Qin Xian stared at Han Sen fiercely. Station master, please, that's not my thing, said Han Sen bitterly. It's fine if you don't want to go. Qin Xian suddenly smiled at Han Sen and said, if you do not go, each time you enter the teleport station, I will fight you. Looking at her evil smile, Han Sen's heart sank. He knew that Qin Xian hadn't tried her best at all when fighting with him in the past, because he was no match for her at the moment. Judging from her expression, he knew if he declined, he would really have a hard time in the future. I'll just join Bullseye then, Han Sen said, depressed. Qin Xian snapped at Han Sen, do you have any idea how many people in Steel Armor Shelter want to join my gang? And you just acted like I've asked you to take poison. Freedom is priceless, and to lose my freedom is exactly like taking poison, Han Sen sighed. Then you could die a slow death. Even if you died and became a ghost, you'd still be my ghost, Qin Xian pouted and said. Han Sen knew that Qin Xian had made up her mind, and he accepted the offer unwillingly. Feeling dejected, he left the hall. Qin Xian watched him go and was very pleased by his upset look for some strange reason. She couldn't help but smile. Station master, why do you have to recruit such a person to our steel armor gang? He's not worthy of being a member of Bullseye. A woman of the same age as Qin Xian came out from a side door and asked after Han Sen had left. Monli, trust me, although this guy can be a bastard sometimes, he does have great potential in some aspects, Qin Xian told young Monli seriously. Qin Xian had witnessed what a fast learner and diligent student Han Sen was. Repeatedly defeated by her, he didn't go down but grew stronger and stronger. Now even she had to take him seriously. Such progress and mentality were truly amazing. Qin Xian's opinions of Han Sen had improved a great deal, or else she wouldn't have defended him in front of everyone. Han Sen returned to his room and teleported back home before Qin Xian had the chance to leave God's sanctuary. He was not the least interested in going to a military school. Before, it would have been a great option for him, because he could learn hyper-geno arts there. Now, with Jade Skin, he didn't have to waste his time in a military school at all. It would be much wiser for him to spend time hunting and increasing his geno points. As for Bullseye, Han Sen had even less interest in joining. Although as a member of Bullseye he could gain assistance from Qin Xian's information network to improve his chance of finding mutant and sacred blood creatures, he would also have to share the meat hunted with the rest of her team. Han Sen decided to go hunting alone after some preparation. If Qin Xian didn't see him for a while, she would probably forget about the whole thing. Han Sen had wanted to buy an alpha alloy dagger with the 150,000 he had earned, but now he had the broadsword he seized from Lu Feng, so the other was no longer necessary. The broadsword was made of a special alloy with Z metal, which made it very stiff. Its edge could easily cut primitive creatures open. So weapons made from this kind of alloy had always been expensive. Nice! Han Sen touched the edge and his finger was cut immediately. Looking at the shiny edge, Han Sen loved the weapon so much he couldn't put it down. It's worth the price, he thought to himself. The Han family had an alloy business before, and although it was a small factory, they had unique formulas. Their products might not be as good as this broadsword, but could also cut open the skin of some primitive creatures. So the business was quite profitable. If it was not for those terrible family members, their company could surely be among the top 3 on planet Roka. But now the company had been bought by Starry Group. Han Sen was too young back then, and to this day he still didn't quite understand why Starry Group had to acquire their company. He knew his father's death must have had something to do with Starry Group, but he had no ability to find out the truth, so he had to lay low. "Son, today I have something important at work. Can you take Yen to school?" Luo Sulan knocked on the door and asked Han Sen. "School has started already? I did not know that." "No worries Mom, I'll take her," Han Sen quickly said. "School started a few days ago, and you were in God's sanctuary so I didn't want to bother you," said Luo Sulan. "Which school is it?" asked Han Sen. "It is St. Paul, and I used the money you left to pay the tuition." Luo Sulan felt slightly uneasy, as she had spent almost all the money on Yan's school. "Great! St. Paul is the best on planet Roka except for the posh schools." Han Sen was very happy. He didn't have an aristocratic title for the moment and couldn't send Yen to a posh school, but a good private school is still much better than integrated compulsory education. After chatting with his mother, Han Sen took Han Yen on a maglev train to school. The entrance of St. Paul was almost blocked by private aircrafts, and some of them were deluxe. Almost all rich people without an aristocratic title would send their children to St. Paul. And almost all students here were from affluent families. Walking his sister to school, Han Sen saw a middle-aged fat guy getting off an aircraft with a flirtatious woman on his side and an 8-year-old boy in his arms. He paused, as the middle-aged fat guy happened to be his uncle, Han Lei. Chapter 40, Physical Test Center. "What are you doing here?" Han Lei was surprised to see Han Sen here. "Taking Yen to school," replied Han Sen. "Yen is coming to St. Paul?" Han Lei looked at Han Sen and Han Yen, unconvinced. "Since a few days ago," Han Sen said, ready to walk Han Yen into the school gate. Han Lei thought for a while and ran in front of Han Senator. He grabbed Han Sen's wrist and raged, "I knew it. My elder brother managed the company for so many years, he must have embezzled lots of money. You were just lying to me about not being able to come up with 2 million, while you are now spending millions to send Yen to St. Paul. I'm telling you, this money belonged to the whole family, just like the house. We must split it, or I'll..." "Or what? What can you do about it?" Han Sen looked at Han Lei coldly. He was completely disappointed in his relatives and wouldn't give them a cent more. "Boy, watch it. I'm your uncle." Han Lei flinched with Han Sen watching him, but he didn't plan to let Han Sen walk free. "Uncle?" Han Sen smiled dismissively. "Well, please go home and review the legal documents we signed and see if you have the right to anything we own. From now on, do not think you can take a penny from us ever again." The reason why Han Sen gave them 2 million so promptly was to draw a line between his relatives and his real family. To get the 2 million, his relatives all signed a document prepared by Mr. Zhang which made it impossible for them to take anything from Han Sen's family in the future. "That is fraud. I'll go find your mom right away." "How dare you hide money from us?" cried Han Lei angrily. "Uncle, don't even think about it. I have the right to kill a trespasser." Han Sen looked at Han Lei gloomily. "Little brat, how dare!" Han Lei threw a punch at Han Sen furiously. With a blank expression, Han Sen grabbed Han Lei's arm and threw Han Lei over his own shoulder. Han Lei shouted out in pain. "Uncle, if you want to die, welcome to our house." Han Sen stared at Han Lei coldly. Han Lei opened his eyes wide, as if he didn't know Han Senator. The look on Han Sen's face had terrified him. Han Lei was an evolver, although just by maxing out on primitive geno points. He didn't really do much in Second God's sanctuary, but he was still an evolver. It was abnormal that Han Sen, who hadn't evolved at all, could give him a shoulder throw easily. His nephew suddenly looked like a different person. Han Sen suddenly smiled and pulled Han Lei up. "I'm sure my aunt doesn't know about this woman and child. I think I should talk to her," Han Sen whispered, while Han Lei was still shocked by his sudden change. "You think my wife will believe you?" Han Lei said madly. "That doesn't matter, as long as she believes this." Han Sen showed Han Lei the comlink on his wrist. He turned the video camera on the moment he saw Han Lei. Shocked, Han Lei reached to grab the comlink. Han Sen only moved slightly to make Han Lei fall again. "Uncle, we can negotiate a price, and I can sell you this." Han Sen smiled and was about to pull him up again. Han Lei grinned and suddenly reached to twist Han Sen's hand, ready to break it and seize his comlink. Han Sen flipped his hand and held Han Lei's hand down, making him kneel on the floor and howl like a pig. "Uncle, it seems that you have no intention to negotiate. I'll have to show it to my aunt then." Han Sen released Han Lei's hand and turned to leave. "Wait." Han Lei quickly stopped Han Sen and gritted his teeth. 10,000. "I'll give you 10,000, and you delete it." Han Sen turned away. 200,000, or I'll go to my aunt." Okay, said Han Lei, limping over to take hold of Han Sen. "Thanks then, cash or bank transfer?" Han Sen asked with a faint smile. Han Lei unwillingly transferred 200,000 to Han Sen. "Well, now can you delete it?" "Of course I will delete it, but only when I'm in a good mood," Han Sen said and walked away. "Brat, you lied to me." Han Lei became furious and raised his fist. However, he froze at the sight of Han Sen, as his nephew's movements had really left a strong impression. "Uncle, I received your money, so I will certainly delete it, but I did not say when I will do it. So you'd better keep me in a good mood." Han Sen patted Han Lei on the shoulder and stopped smiling. He whispered, "Also, do not let me see you in my home again, otherwise I will kill you." Han Lei shuddered, and for some reason, he knew Han Sen meant it. *T. The brat has become so evil, Han Lei cursed as Han Sen moved away. Ashamed that he was terrified by a boy, Han Lei was still nervous deep down and changed his mind about going to Han Sen's home. After sending Yen to school, Han Sen was in a great mood. On his way back, he saw a physical test center and went in, wanting to know his current physical fitness level. Chapter 41, Home Run. In the unevolved test hall of the physical test center, Zhao Baoshan looked at A level displayed on the virtual screen and was secretly feeling proud of himself. In order to get A level in the test, an unevolved person must reach more than 10.0 in at least 100 items, including strength, speed, quickness, leaping ability, muscle toughness, bone strength and organ function. With A-level fitness, one was also very likely to be admitted into a military school, as long as one didn't make a huge mistake during the entrance exam. In his fantasy, Zhao Baoshan had already graduated from a military school with stellar scores and become a captain of an interstellar warship, directing battles in the space and receiving respect and worship after all his victories. I didn't do that well in the live combat test. If I had done better, I might be assessed at AA level. Maybe I'll try again. Zhao Baoshan went back, but found the test hall he had used was occupied. Zhao Baoshan thought the testing process was quite short, so he decided he might as well wait there. But after he had waited for quite a while, the person inside still hadn't come out. So slow. This person inside must be stupid? If I had gone to a different hall, I would have finished by now. Zhao Baoshan was quite upset but not willing to give up. Zhao Baoshan gave it some thought and paid to observe the test. Suddenly, the holographic image was projected in front of him. I wonder how dumb this person could be to take so long. Zhao Baoshan looked to the golden figure in the holographic image. That person in the image was about to take the final test, the robot channel. The robot channel was the last part of the entire test. In the 300-foot-long one-way channel, one had to beat a combat robot with biochemical alloy shell every 6 feet, and the performance of combat robots was stronger and stronger toward the end. As an unevolved, being able to cross the 180-foot line was pass, 210-foot line was good, 240-foot line was excellent, 270-foot line was advanced, and going all the way was super. Zhao Bosshan had earned a good score himself, but he might be able to pass the 240-foot line if he put in more effort. This is weird. How come it took him so long? Zhao Bosshan felt strange, as all the tests before this one should have taken the same amount of time. What he didn't know was that Han Sen actually took each test twice, the first time without beast souls and the second time with beast souls, so as to know his abilities under different circumstances. That's why it took Han Sen so long. In fact, Han Sen had already been through the robot channel twice. This time, he summoned Black Beetle Armor and Bloody Slayer at the same time and wanted to try the robot channel one last time under his best conditions. When Zhao Bosshan saw clearly the golden figure, he was amazed by how great the Bloody Slayer and Black Beetle beast souls looked. *T. This guy wants to use beast souls to take the robot channel test. Well, even so he could hardly go all the way, unless, while Zhao Bosshan was still thinking, the majestic golden figure had rushed toward the robot channel. Boom! What happened next rendered Zhao Bosshan speechless. The golden figure ignored all combat robots trying to block him and forcefully went through with his strong body. The combat robot, which was much heavier than the man, was knocked away immediately. The golden figure was like an armored vehicle, brutally hitting his way through the combat robots. Even the robot's biochemical alloy shells were smashed. Nothing could stop that figure. 30 feet. 60 feet. 90 feet. 180 feet. 210 feet. 240 feet. Zhao Baoshan knew that the performance of the combat robots placed behind the 240-foot line was beyond the ability of average unevolved persons. But they were smashed by the golden figure as if they were a pile of clunkers. The robot channel that was viewed as a cruel test by most unevolved became an easy path for the golden figure. Unmatched strength. All combat robots in the channel, including the last one, were knocked away within seconds. Zhao Bosshan opened his mouth and didn't recover from shock for a long time. When he looked at the virtual screen, it already changed to SSS level. OMG, who is this fierce fellow? Zhao Bosshan saw the door of the test hall open and the person in the hall was gone. Zhao Bosshan immediately chased him out, but the center was so crowded and he had no idea who that person was. The video. Zhao Bosshan ran back to the hall, paid to play the recorded video and made a copy. Having watched the video a few times, he regretted that he didn't see the golden figure's performance before the last test. Zhao Bosshan suddenly had an idea. He logged into his account and uploaded this copy to the official forum, and named it 788-Foot Robot Channel Conquered. Chapter 42, $. In the beginning, Zhao Bosshan's video didn't attract much attention. After all, there were so many videos online about the robot channel test. 7.88 seconds was also considered a gimmick, as those who could pass the test within 10 seconds would be among the very best of the unevolved. Even stars like Tang Jinliu could finish the test in just under 10 seconds and couldn't improve any further. If someone really finished it within 7.88 seconds, he or she would surely be a star. Therefore, it would be impossible for it to be uploaded by an unknown account. Almost everyone who saw the title would choose to skip the video, and it could soon be lost in the massive number of videos. Only a few who were bored would play the video. However, those who had seen the video were all impressed by the brutal method used to pass the test and chose to forward the link to their friends. Coincidentally, someone from Steel Armor Shelter also watched the video and recognized the man in the video as $. From Steel Armor Shelter. Immediately after he finished watching the video, he posted a new thread titled SSS Level, $. Conquered Robot Channel in 7 feet 88 inches, to the section of Steel Armor Shelter. That $. Who robbed Son of Heaven of the Beast Soul? Is the title for real? Is Dollar's real identity exposed? The name Dollar was so well known in Steel Armor Shelter that the post soon got a lot of attention, and many watched the video with a skeptical attitude, which turned into admiration when they finished watching. Dollar is my idol. This is how real men should pass the test. Haha, the combat robots were all crushed. His beast soul was stolen from Son of Heaven, and he is nothing without beast souls. Dollar is invincible. Idol. The video was watched so much in Steel Armor Shelter that the administrator soon noticed it and put it on the front page. At this point, this video became viral in the entire alliance, and almost all Unevolved now knew about Dollar. It must be fake. No way. Did you not see it's an official video? This is not possible. The robots in the beginning were not that strong, but it was so incredible that he knocked away the ones close to the end as well. No way, this looks too fake. It is definitely modified. If it's not, I'll eat #T. Who is this man? One of the chosen? This is Dollar from Steel Armor Shelter. What Dollar? I have not heard of him. That is because you are ignorant. Dollar brought honor to the entire Steel Armor Shelter. Many people in the shelter were telling the story all over the Skynet of Dollar robbing the beast soul from Son of Heaven. Jinliu, come and look at this, a good-looking young man waved to Tang Jinliu, who was training. Lin Feng, what is it? Tang Jinliu approached the young man while wiping his face with a towel. Taking a look at the video the young man was watching, he commented, 7.88 seconds, robot channel conquered. This is crap. It took me 10 seconds. How can anyone finish it in 7.88 seconds? Tang Jinliu played with his hair casually. Just watch this. Lin Feng played the video. No way. This can't be. Who is this guy? Where is he from? No idea. But according to my analysis, he must have maxed out on all Geno points except for sacred Geno points. He also has practiced advanced hyper Geno arts. His armor and shape-shifting beast souls were all sacred blood. Lin Feng paused the holographic video and continued to analyze. His shape-shifting beast soul is fast and... Enough with the analysis. I just want to know who he is. Finally, all the top guys have gone to Second God Sanctuary, and I now have a chance to rank second among the chosen. And now here's this guy. Tang Jinliu gritted his teeth. Find out who he is. I'll have him killed before he can ruin my chances. Lin Feng rolled his eyes. First, this video is from the official physical test center, so there is no way you could find out his identity. Second, someone with this fitness level must be from a prominent family or even have something to do with the military. You think you dare to have someone like that killed? Ahem, I was just expressing my anger. Don't take me seriously, Tang Jinliu was embarrassed. Who could he be? Lin Feng frowned, staring at the golden figure in the video. There were many who shared Lin Feng's question and wondered about the background of Dollar. Due to the limited information available, no one had any clue. Some people also tried to ask Zhao Boshan, the poster of the video. However, Zhao Boshan had no idea who that man was. So, all people knew was that Dollar took the test on planet Roka. But interplanetary travel was so convenient that many people were even working on a different planet from where they lived. Hence, no one knew whether Dollar was passing by or lived there. Plus, there were 12 billion people on Roka, so it was impossible to locate a single individual anyway. Chapter 43, Age Difference. While everyone was discussing who Dollar was, Han Sen was practicing archery alone in a waste factory near his home, avoiding entering God's sanctuary in case Qin Xian would send him to Bullseye. If I had not used beast souls, my strength would only have been rated 9.1 due to the lack of mutant Geno points. If I could max out on mutant Geno points, my rating would reach 12, secretly calculated Han Sen while he was resting. The improvement in physical fitness levels got more and more difficult as he became stronger. Han Sen had checked the data. Those who had maxed out on all 4 types of Geno points could have a rating at 15. If they were also practicing hyper-Geno arts, then their number might reach 17 or 18, which was the limit for the unevolved. For individual indicators such as speed, there was the same limit. An average person would be considered a genius with a rating of 15. Some indicators could be further improved to 17 or 18 with the practice of hyper-Geno arts. Maxing out on all 4 types of Geno points was incredibly difficult, and there might not even be anyone who could achieve this in several years in a shelter. At that time, Qin Xian was the only one who had any chance of maxing out on all 4 types of Geno points. As Han Sen was thinking, suddenly his comlink rang. He took a look, and it was a strange number. Han Sen hesitated and took the call. The holographic image of Qin Xian popped out. She looked at Han Sen coldly and said, "If I do not see you in front of me in an hour, then you better pray I will never see you again." Qin Xian hung up immediately and her holographic image also disappeared. How did she know my number? I have not told her. Han Sen helplessly got up and went to the teleport station. Qin Xian was the station master, so there was no way he could avoid her. I am a dignified man, and I fear nothing. Han Sen came to the teleport station and cheered himself up. Come here, Qin Xian spat out as she saw him coming. Station master, I was busy with some family business and, Han Sen forced a smile and tried to explain when he saw Qin Xian's grim face. Busy playing archery every day in the waste factory? Qin Xian didn't even blink. Station master, stalking is not a good idea. I understand what you want, but our age difference is more than 3 years. Even if I'm willing, my mom, Han Sen joked. Qin Xian, who was walking ahead, was pissed off but didn't turn back. Entering the combat room, she threw a combat suit and some protective gear in front of Han Sen and said sharply, "Put it on." Han Sen suddenly felt something was very wrong. Qin Xian had never given him protective gear before, and this was certainly a red flag. Han Sen wanted to run, but Qin Xian had already anticipated his thought and locked the door of the combat room before he even moved. Station master, don't do this. We must talk this out. I never thought age was an issue. I'll bring you home right. Don't come close. Han Sen kept backing off while Qin Xian gritted her teeth and approached him. Damn you. Qin Xian raised her fist and threw a punch at Han Sen. She was really mad this time. She had finally persuaded Yang Monli to let Han Sen join Bullseye, but Han Sen had completely disappeared in recent days. Han Sen felt a lot more pressure than usual, and his arms went numb after blocking 2 punches from her. When Qin Xian was ready to beat him senseless, the holographic image of Yang Monli popped up from the comlink in the combat room. Station master, Starry Group sent someone to discuss killing the sacred blood creature, Yang Monli said. Okay, take them to the conference room and I'll be right there. Qin Xian stopped and fiercely stared at Han Sen. Station master, we are cooperating with Starry Group, asked Han Sen. You didn't know? Son of Heaven is the son of the CEO of Starry Group, replied Qin Xian. Think about it. Will I do you harm by asking you to join Bullseye? No need to think. How could I ever go against your will? I'll join Bullseye right away, and you don't have to stalk me anymore, Han Sen said bitterly. Good to see that you've come to your senses. Your family is not rich. What are you going to do if you don't go to military school? Said Qin Xian before leaving the combat room. She didn't forget to arrange for a guard to accompany Han Sen to report to Yang Monli. The reason for Han Sen's sudden change of heart was that he learned Son of Heaven was the son of Starry Group's CEO. Since Qin Xian was collaborating with Son of Heaven, Maybe he could find out the facts of Starry Group's acquisition of their family business as a member of Qin Xian's steel armor gang. The guard took Han Sen to the front of an office. Han Sen knocked on the door and found that the woman who had been in the holographic image just then was sitting behind the desk, looking at him seriously. "Station master asked me to report to you," Han Sen said politely. "Fill this out." Yang Monli showed no expression and passed a sheet to Han Sen. Han Sen took it and saw it was just a basic information form. He filled it out and gave it back. "You can go back. Show up at the training camp of Bullseye tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Remember, I don't like people who are not punctual. And this is your last chance." Yang Monli's impression of Han Sen was terrible, especially after his absence from Bullseye.